Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear me? Hello? I'm just fucking with you. This is Evan Ranks. What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a splendid week and are ready for another wonderful podcast brought to you by yours truly and Walker's Home Services. So, thank you to Walker's Home Services for being our sponsor of the podcast. Um, like I've said before, it's a lot of fun being able to mention you, have you associated with us. Maybe we can get some merchandise going on here, or maybe do an Evan Ranks live while Walker's Home Services is doing actual work around the house. One day, maybe. You never know. Once we get big, I guess. But thank you guys for tuning in. I have a bit of a unique one. I've tried to decide how I want to lay these podcasts out, just because I think, I can go multiple different routes. It's a spinoff kind of on the TV show Survivor. I want to there's a couple of seasons that I have watched, one being the latest season and then one being from 2004 that I do want to rank. However, instead of taking up that time by explaining Survivor in the game, I'm going to sort of explain Survivor in the game in this podcast, sort of all that entails within the show and the game itself. But what we'll be ranking is not Survivor in general, but my application to Survivor. So we'll kind of rank it, or I'll rank it, but at the end of it, sort of, when you hear all of the content, I want you all to rank my chances on the show Survivor, or the success I would have if on the show. So to start this off, if you're not familiar with the show Survivor has been around for, 20-something odd years. And the host has been the singular host. His name is Jeff Probst, and he has been the host for all of this time. So the game of course, has evolved tremendously since the start of it in, like 1999, 2000. Whenever the case this show came out, he's been the host, and the main sort of theme in this game, there's three different parts, I guess we'll say: outwit, outplay, and outlast. Outlast is where we'll start, just because it sort of contains the most variables in the game. So you are, quote unquote, outlasting the other 17 opponents that you are facing. So you're stranded on an island. You are given very limited, if any, resources, maybe just a pot to boil your water. You don't have fire. You have to start fire using flint resources. You have to forage for food. You have to survive the elements, the extreme heat of 110 degrees, or the cold nights when it's pouring down rain for 8 hours. All of this goes into that outlast aspect. You are, mentally, physically exhausted. You're going through the elements. You're at the same time trying to strategically play this game, because there are two tribes to start. So you're split. There's 18 people. You're split between two tribes, and you are set there for 39 days. Over a month, you are living on a remote island with the same people 24 hours a day. There is no getting out of this, whatever the case is. This is how the show starts. Now, like I said, you start in two tribes. There's just randomly drawn. You could have a perfect tribe with a bunch of athletes, who can compete, or you could have, brainiacs, a mix of both, whatever the case is. But every single episode, and I don't know what all entails when they're not filming, or they're always filming, but what they leave out. So in short, every episode has a reward challenge and an immunity challenge. In these challenges, it could be numerous different things. I'm thinking back to some of them, and like an example would be, you have the 9 people going against the other 9 people. As a team, one by one, you have to run from the beach all the way to swimming into whatever middle ocean or however far it is, to untie a puzzle piece and then bring that puzzle piece back. Next person goes, etc. Once you have all of your puzzle pieces, 2 individuals solve this puzzle. Whoever finishes first wins either reward or immunity. Some of those reward challenges could be comfort, like blankets, tarp, chairs for your camp, or sometimes it's food or, a night at what they call the sanctuary. Immunity is where if your team wins, you cannot be voted out of the game. The other tribe then goes to immunity or goes to tribal council where they have to vote a member of their team out. So, a lot of different factors go into this. You have to be socially you have to be easily socially adaptable to whatever circumstance. You could be dealing with a bunch of idiots, cocky people, arrogant, mean, whatever, but socially you cannot really piss anyone off. You're trying to be a moderator, you're trying to be friendly, connect with people, because these are the people you are voting out of the game. In the beginning, it really matters based on your first impressions, and second off, these are the people that will ultimately decide if you win Survivor or not. So you think about it in terms of these two tribes. They go until, we'll say there's roughly, there's 18 people. You vote out at least 8 to 9 people from these double tribes. Whether you lose 8 in a row and it's down to one single person, or both tribes lose a handful and it's down to like 5 and 4. It's super important because these are the people you are building bonds with, and you are ultimately fighting in a competition that other tribe. So when you get to that point of 5 and 4, the game changes and you merge to one tribe. Now, there are tribal lines from, like I said, where you build these bonds, you connect with these people, you trust these people, you form alliances. So then when you're at that 5-4 split, you say, hey, we got the numbers. We can pick off that other tribe that we were competing against and just get down to 5, and then it's a battle for everybody. Or you could say, hey, there's 5 people on this tribe, there's 4 on that tribe. If I flip, I can turn this game around and I could be a part of that tribe if you connect and get along with those other people, or how you feel comfortable. So there's numerous different ways to excel yourself in the game, but ultimately you are trying to outlast these other people. When I said you merge, like I said, you merge into one singular tribe in which you are not fighting for tribal immunity, but you are fighting for individual immunity. So each challenge, everybody goes head to head to head to head to head, etc. So an example of that would be, there's this one where and they like scientifically plan these games out, because there's like different poses that you have in which it strains your body, whatever the case is. And thinking back, there's like one where you're on there's like a 2x4 block. And excuse me, this is going to sound bad, but like think of Jesus on the cross. It's sort of that structure, if you will. And it's not a cross, but it's like one beam, and then behind you is like 2 handles in which you hold it like behind your head. So your hands are behind your head, and you hold that on, and your feet are like barely hanging on to, like an inch of wood. And whoever stands up there the longest would win individual immunity. You can't be voted out. Everyone else comes at each other's heads to vote everybody out. So these challenges are physically ruling, physically demanding, and ultimately you do have to have some sort of athletic ability, because you go into the outplay portion of Survivor. Outplay portion is, how you perform in challenges, how you perform at camp. Do you gather firewood? Can you start fire? These basic necessities of how Survivor started. Can you, outplay these other people to win food and hunt food, all that stuff. They sometimes get twine and you win fish hooks, or you win fishing supplies. Can you be that sort of provider? A lot of people in the earlier seasons, if you were more athletic and more adept to nature, the hunters would stick around. Or if you're stronger, more athletic, they would keep you around on your tribe because you're strong, you're powerful, you can win challenges for your tribe. When you get to that individual game, like, dude, Evan's a threat. Like, he's not going to lose a challenge. We got to get him out now. Otherwise, he might just win 9 individual immunities and make it to the finals. So you kind of have to have that happy medium of not being overkill, but athletic enough to sort of survive. And then outwit, which is that strategy part of the game. who can you connect with? What people can you connect with and grow these relationships so they trust you, but not only them trusting you, you trust them. In that game, the most, I've watched almost all of the seasons. There are some that I haven't, but in almost every season, you have to have that one ride or die person, that one person that says, I refuse to write your name down. And you guys go the whole way. You can do that secretly, like have mismatched pairs. There's one season where it's like this 50-year-old mother and then a 24-year-old freak athlete, and they're like, yo, if we partner together, like, and she was strong too, like this girl was a workhorse, like a baller, but like they paired up together and they made it to the final two together. So you need that pair, but you also have to, like I said earlier, navigate the woes of, if there's 5 people and 4 on or if I'm a part of this 5-person tribe after the merge and there's 4 other people, how can I increase my value here? If I say, I'm bottom, I'm number 5. Like these other 4 people are unbreakable. I'm at the bottom of the food chain. They're just going to keep me around as a vote until you guys get voted off. You have to outwit those people. You have to make them think you're with them and then flip-flop to the other group and vote one of your guys out because they weren't expecting it. Big power play move. You get points for the jury, and then ultimately that helps your game. Now, you just heard me mention the jury. This is essentially everybody after that merge. Sometimes there's a couple of them within that merge that get voted off and they don't get on the jury. In the earlier episodes, there are 7 jury members and then 2 finalists. So roughly once you get down to 9 people is when you start constructing your jury. The jury is your peers that you have voted out, and they only spectate tribal council, so they only come to those sort of events when someone's getting voting out. They don't see you at the challenges or any of that. They are only there to observe and conduct an answer for who their winner is. So you get down to, you have the 7 jury members and 2 finalists, and it's the final tribal council. You ultimately are, we'll say it goes to the final 3. And if you win that last individual immunity, you choose who goes with you. So you then go to this final tribal council, which it's you and that other individual, and you essentially plead your case to the jury of how you outwitted, outplayed, and outlasted the other individuals. That could be you comparing yourself to the jury or the person next to you. But to get into sort of the beef of this episode, now that you all know what Survivor is, it's me wanting to go on Survivor. I have watched, like I said, so many different episodes. Excuse me while I take a bite of my dinner. I've watched so many different episodes, and every time I watch, I think I can get better and better and better at that game. Like, I feel like I'm more adept of being on that game. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I was eating dinner and the dog was pouting that I didn't give him any of my food, so I had to move it. But so like I'm watching the show and I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, I'm not in the best physical shape, but I'm still athletic. I mean, y'all have seen me on a softball field. I'm still pretty quick. I still have really good hand-eye coordination. My endurance is there. I'm running on and off the field, not really walking that much. So I think physically I could compete with the best of them. There's ex-NFL players that go on there or ex-athletes that go on this show. And I sometimes think that I could compete with them. I think where I have the advantage of being that sort of mediocre athlete is that I wouldn't have as big of a target on my back because I could lose quite a few of those challenges, but I would be early on a help to the tribe. Now, the biggest thing here is thinking about, in the heat of the moment, and Emma Rose, the only reason I'm doing this episode is because Emma Rose told me that she doesn't think I could handle Survivor. Physically, that is. I don't go to the gym. I don't work out. I don't run. And I think I still could go on this show and compete. I would have time to train, of course, and get in better physical shape. But my thought process is when you're out there on this island competing for $1 million frickin' dollars and the title of Sole Survivor, which is huge in its own aspects, the adrenaline is going to just essentially carry me all the way. And I'm so competitive that I feel like in my head would not tell me to shut down or that you're tired, your body's aching. I would just pedal to the freaking floorboard and go full steam ahead. I mean, I'd give it my all. I think physically, like I said, I'm here for it. I'm not, that crazy good athlete where I would have that target on my back, but I would be able to still provide and help. I got a good work ethic. I think I'd be, a tremendous help around camp. I'd probably be able to start fire with Flint. I think I could. I mean, I could practice that before I go out there. I think challenge-wise, like I mentioned earlier, you have puzzles. I think that might be one of my weak spots, but I'm still an intellectual guy. I'm still smart. I like puzzles itself, like 50 or 500 piece puzzles, whatever. I'm not bad at those. It's just these are more intricate, harder puzzles that sometimes I might not think I could handle. So, in an earlier episode, an example of one of these puzzles is they have like a mosaic in a way, like a patterned shape-ish thing, and you show it. Jeff shows you that pattern, and you have to then on your puzzle show him the exact same one, different colors, where those pieces go, and it's got to match up identically. Rounds go as long as someone gets it correct. Don't know if I'd be the best at that, but this is where I think I'm going to excel here. Socially, y'all know me so very well. And I do really encourage you guys to go and watch at least an episode, one of the later ones, so one of the more recent ones, because that's what we're sort of basing my success on Survivor. This is being super personable, able to make those connections with not only your tribe, but other tribe members or people on the other tribe themselves, and, get as far as possible through these alliances. I feel like me socially I would either get voted out really early because I am super social, likable in that regard. So people look at you as a threat. Oh, if Evan gets all the way, he's pissed no one off. Evan's a great guy. He's going to win. I got a good story behind me. All of that fun stuff goes into factor. So I think socially would be my biggest strength. Day one falling on that beach, I think I'd probably make some friends. Like I have a very good idea of who I connect with. I met some friends in college and we just hit it off. Like day one, I knew that was going to be my friend. This is no different. I think day one, that first impression is going to do so much for you. And I mean, I'd be lying to say I'd be lying to say that I have had a bad impression. I definitely have made some bad impressions, but for the most part, especially when you're mentally preparing for this, I feel like I would knock it out of the park. So socially, I think I could be king at this game. And I'm trying to think of any more aspects of the game. Like I kind of covered most of them. I think my biggest struggle would be morality. I don't think I would be able to lie to people. I think I'm a bad judge of someone lying to me. I just sort of don't know. So I think I might end up, struggling with that. But I don't think I'd have to deal with people lying to me unless they were, on the chopping block trying to lie to me. So I flip flop because I don't see myself on the bottom. I see myself making those high quality connections, busting my ass, and just working hard to get to the end. And I feel like a lot of people would want to at least take me to the merge. And frankly, I'm not looking to win. I am looking to win, but my dream would be to be on the jury. You remember those people on the jury. You don't really remember the Survivor cast that don't make it to the merge. My dream would be to be at least somewhat relevant, win one individual immunity challenge, and make it to the jury, dude. I really do think I could do it. I mean, maybe that's my confidence and I couldn't do it, but that's another positive aspect of why I think I could do it. My confidence is through the roof right now. I was, reading about how to apply, and you essentially send in a video that's non-scripted, you giving your life story, sort of your testimonial. You're selling yourself to the producers as to why you could be that next, heartstrings character that everybody loves. Dude, I have a podcast in which I don't write a script and I just essentially talk to you all for 20 minutes. I think I can knock the application video out of the park. I mean, you have to list all your personal medical history and all that stuff. I'm not worried about that. I don't have any, allergic reactions. I'm not on any medication. I feel like I could be the perfect candidate. And if accepted, I feel like I could go far. I mean, I'm going to give you my ranking, and I really am intrigued to hear all of your rankings. So when you do listen to this, please shoot me a text, Snapchat message me, DM me on Instagram. Read about what Survivor is, I guess, online or in your own words, or take what I've said and rank where you think on a scale of 1 to 10 how successful I would be in that game. I don't want you to separate it into the categories, but just overall, outwit, outplay, and outlast based on everything I had said to you. I want you to rank how successful you could see me on this show. This is a new podcast, guys. This is something we haven't done before. I'm putting the ranking in your hands. I'm relying on this audience participation to see the success on this episode. But I'm going to give you my ranking, and you can take that and copy it or go lower, go higher. I'm going to give myself an 8. I think an 8 is a nice number. It's not overly confident, but it's confident enough for me to say my goal is to make it to the merge, make it to the merge, and make it to the jury. That's my goal, and I think I could. I don't want to say very easy because the game is impossible. Like, you can search through the woods for hours on end looking for the quote unquote hidden immunity idol, which gives you safety at a tribal council. But then if you're looking for it all the time, people think you're, sketchy, nervous, all that stuff. So, I mean, there are so many different aspects, and that could mean that, the guy that's on the chopping block thinks I'm going to win. They get the hidden immunity idol. Don't tell anyone. Everyone votes for them. And then that one person basically says, all right, Evan, bye-bye. And I get voted out. That's a possibility too. So there's so many different moving parts. But Evan Ranks is giving my success on the show Survivor a solid 8. I'm going to do a video here soon for an application, and I'll show you guys my application, hopefully get some helpful hints. And maybe one day I'll be on the show Survivor. That would be absolutely awesome. Like I said, I think I can do it, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts. This is going to be a big audience participation podcast. So please DM me, message me your ranking for my success on Survivor. That's going to do it all, folks, though. This was a really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Something I'm passionate about, as you can tell, because I want to apply for it. And, as my close friends that are tuning in, being the loyal listeners, I need some sort of support here as well. Fiance Emma Rose doesn't think I can do it. Maybe I could change her mind if I started working out. But I want y'all's opinions. I want you guys to support me throughout this endeavor as well. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you for being here. Thanks to Walker's Home Services. And time for Stranger of the Day. Yeah, Stranger of the Day. We are going to continue this and then check out of here so you all can enjoy your day. But Stranger of the Day goes to... I've met a lot of decent strangers here recently, if I'm being honest, but I think my stranger of the day is going to go to the Army veteran that I had talked to at the coffee shop that I go to over in Hollymead Town Center. I think he's going to get the stranger of the day. He walked up to me, saw my pocket knife in my pocket, and asked if I was, a veteran. We talked. I said no, but I have sort of similar ideology to veterans, or I'm a big veteran supporter, something along those lines. And we chatted for quite some time about, today's day and age, his history in the military. I mean, that man been to Libya, Lebanon, Israel. I mean, he's been all over the place. So it was super cool to hear his little testimonial, his life story as a Army veteran. So he gets stranger of the day. He did tell me his name. I completely forgot it because it was somewhat of a longer, more difficult to pronounce last name. So I am truly sorry, mister, that I forgot your last name, but you have the prized possession of stranger of the day. So thank you, everybody. Greatly appreciate everybody listening and being here today. Give me some suggestions for what you guys want me to rank next. I'm going to call out Ryan Hicks. We got to make this podcast happen, man. I really want you on there. I think it'll be great for the pod. So let's make it happen here shortly. But that's going to be it for today, folks. I will see you all in the next one.